Welcome back to Logic Band, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at a plugin that I think is going to be helpful to those of you that are relatively new to mixing or just not interested in getting down and dirty into the minutia of it and want to be able to work fast, work quickly, work efficiently, and get great results in the process. And this is going to be a single plugin that you can use across your entire mix. And we're doing something a little different today. I got Miss LB joining me for this one because we were talking about it and I was kind of telling her about it because I've been demoing the plugin and I've been kind of excited about it and really liking what it can do and how it works, and was kind of talking to her and explaining that to her, and I was gonna like, hey, let me show you what I mean. And I was like, you know what? Let me just hit record, and she's coming along for the ride. So say hello to everyone.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Today I'm learning about this plugin with you guys.
The plugin in question is WaveBreaker from ML Sound Lab. Now, I've talked about ML Sound Lab on the channel before. I use ML Drums. It's a drum virtual instrument plugin, one of the few that are pretty accessible and also lets us do multi-outs and all that stuff that I've always complained about not being able to do with drum libraries, especially those that use Contact for the sampler. In ML Drums, though, you can mix your drums a little bit. There's like an EQ, compressor, saturator, etc., and they kind of taken that concept and blown it up a bit and made it its own plugin. So this plugin, WaveBreaker, is basically a 5-band EQ. So you have sub, low, mid, high, and air. Those are your 5 bands. And then you have a compressor, so it's a single knob compressor, but you have 3 different modes. You have punch, glue, and limit. And then you also have a clipper and a saturator. Those are pretty much all the parameters in there. Now, what makes this plugin really cool and useful is the way the 5-band EQ is set up. So as I said, we have sub, low, mid, high, and air. Those are your bands from the lowest bands to the highest band. Now, the way this works is that when you boost, you're boosting one frequency, but when you cut, you're cutting a different frequency. So case in point, with the low, you might be boosting, say, around 150, which is going to be great for adding body to snares. Now, when you cut, you might be cutting around 250. So as you turn the slider up into the positives, you boost in 150, but as you cut, you're cutting 250, for example. So the low, mids, and high have a different frequency for the boost versus the cut. So it makes it really efficient that, you know, chances are you probably want to boost or cut at one of those frequencies across your mix or whatever you're working on. And then the sub and the air, the lowest and the highest band, work in a unique way in its own right. So the sub, if you turn it down, if you bring the knob down into negatives, it will turn into a low-cut filter. And it's going to be an SSL style low-cut filter. If you're familiar with those, if you're not, just turn it down until it cuts out enough of the low and rumble and gives you the sound you're looking for. As you turn the lows up, though, if you boost the lows, it's going to be like a Pultec style boost. If you think of, say, the Logic Vintage Tube EQ, that's Logic's take on a Pultec style EQ. It's going to do something similar to what the low boost in that EQ does. Now, the air, on the other hand, if you turn that slider down, it is going to basically be a high cut filter, similar to the sub, but this time it's cutting out the highs above whatever frequency you select. Once again, SSL style high cut filter, if you're familiar with what that means. If not, just turn it down until it does what you want it to do and it sounds right. If you boost the air slider, though, if you turn that air slider up, it turns into a high boost, and it's just going to give you more of the sparkly, bright air that you want to hear, generally speaking. So that's pretty much it. Now, there are about 8 parameters in this plugin, so it's going to be very fast to work with, and you can use this in either controls view or the ML WaveBreaker view, the default plugin view. We're going to use this in controls view, but I'll make a separate tutorial that explains how to label the buttons in the ML WaveBreaker view so that you can use it that way, because I'll show you later why that can be valuable. So check the description or the pinned comment for a link to that additional supplemental tutorial. So let's take a quick look at the parameters, and then we can get into using using this on a mix.
Table. Row 1.
Jump to end of the table, and this is a table that has all the plugin parameters that we usually deal with when we're in controls view. So I'm going to interact
In
with
table.
this.
EQ air. 0.0 slider.
We'll take a quick look at all the parameters. Like I said, you have air.
Clipper. 0.0
There's
slider.
a clipper.
EQ high. 0.0 slider.
The high EQ.
EQ low. 0.0. EQ mid. Normalize. Uncheck checkbox.
There's a normalize function in here, and that's just, I think, for the clipper.
Output slash post gain.
We have
0.0 slider.
output
Input slash
and
pre-gain.
input. So the input is the level coming into the plugin. Output is the level going out of the plugin. So like if you're going to end up putting another plugin after this, but the level coming out of the plugin might be a little loud, you can use the output slider to bring the level down before it hits the plugin that you put after it in the chain. All right, so
Saturation. EQ sub.
you have saturation, then the sub,
Compressor. Off slider. Type. 0 slider.
compressor, and type. So like I said, there are 3 different compression types. So that's a brief overview of the plugin. So shall we get busy checking this out?
Let's get to it.
So this is the track right now as we have it, and those drums are what we have the plugin instantiated on. And I'm going to turn cycle mode on.
Toggle cycle mode on.
So it just kind of loops this one section of the song for us. And let's
Bypassed ML WaveBreaker active.
take the plugin out of bypass.
Type. 0 slider.
And
0.
let's start with the saturation on this.
Compressor. EQ sub.
So
0. Saturation. 0.0.
with controls view, you're going to have 2 sliders. If I interact with saturation
Saturation. 0.
and VO right,
0.00. Slider.
this is the same slider similar to what we would be adjusting if we were in the ML WaveBreaker view.
In slider. 0.00.
And you see that still moves really slow.
0.0.
So
Auto slider.
if I stop interacting with that slider in VO right,
0%. Slider.
we have this other slider that moves
In slider.
in percentages.
5%, 10%, 15%.
See 5, 10,
10,
15.
5, 0%.
So it moves a lot faster. And this is the one that I'm going to generally use because it allows me to kind of move a little quicker. Now, things like the compressor, the saturation, and the clipper, I believe when they're at 0, that should take them out of the circuit or bypass them. So turn them off, basically. Let's go ahead and play this. And let's see what this does on our drums here.
33 bars. 5%, 10%. 15%, 20%. 25, 30%. 35%, 40%. 45%, 50%. 55, 60%. 65, 70%. 75, 80%, 85%. 90%, 95, 100%.
Wow.
95%, 90, 85%, 80%, 75, 70%. 65, 60, 55%. 50%, 45, 40%, 35%. 30%, 25%, 20%. 15%, 10%, 5%, 0%.
So I'd like to do that with plugins. I believe you do as well, Miss LB, where we just kind of crank them up just to hear what the minimum and maximum values are. Just kind of get a feel for what it's doing to our audio.
Yep, I always do it. It's very helpful.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of learn a plugin and learn a parameter. And then from there, we can go ahead and dial in a setting that's going to work. And you can also solo this to kind of hear what it's doing. I'll just crank it up really quickly.
32 bars, 4
solo.
beats, 608 ticks. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30%. 35, 40, 40, 50%. 55, 6, 70%. 70, 80, 80, 90%. 95, 100%. 99, 80, 87, 70, 65, 60%, 55, 50%.
It sounds
45,
so crazy
40%,
at 100%.
30, 30, 25%.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
20%, 50, 10, 5%. 0%.
Yeah, like it's almost like it's a combination of like EQ and compression and distortion all rolled into one. It's kind of thickens it up, fattens it up, but it also kind of gives it a little bit of evenness. As you crank it up more, you kind of hear the reverb or the room or whatever on these drums kind of start to come out more, especially in solo, right? So saturation, you can think of it as a fatter knob, bigger knob, warmer knob, kind of, you know, with some compression, but obviously it gets really distorted as you crank it up towards 100. So let's
Unsoloed.
take this out of solo.
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks. 5%, 10%.
And I'm liking what this does because it's kind of fattening up the kick and snare a little bit.
15%. 20%. 25%.
And I don't know if you can hear this, but this is kind of where the compression part might come in, where it starts to get a little evened out, flattened out a little bit in a sense, right? I encourage you, grab the demo and play with it, because how well you can hear this, especially if you're listening on your phone speakers off of YouTube, you might want to put some headphones in for this, please.
Don't listen on your phone, really. Like, if you're listening on your phone, please revisit it on your computer.
Agreed, on the computer with your studio monitor speakers or the headphones you use for music production.
Or use headphones with your phone, because you're not going to be able to get all of the audio information properly if you don't do that.
Exactly. And grab the demo, play with it if you dig this, because you can then hear more for yourself some of these things. So as I was saying, I feel like around here
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks.
It's starting to kind of flatten it out a little too much for my liking. So
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks. 20%.
bring this back down.
15%.
50 might be a
10%.
happy medium.
I think it sounds good at 15, yeah.
15%. 20%.
I like the kick at 20, but not the snare so much. So yeah,
15%.
let's roll at 15 on the saturation.
Out of slider.
And let's take a look at the compression as well.
EQ sub. Zero compressor. Type. 0 slider.
So you
0.
see you have this type.
0 slider.
And
0.
it's on 0. So you have 0, 1, and 2. 0 is going to be punch. 1 is going to be glue. And 2 is going to be limit. So punch is going to be kind of emulating 1176. If you've used the Logic compressor, I believe in there are 2 different 1176 emulations. The Studio FET and the Vintage FET are the 2 1176 emulations. So it's something in the vein of what those two might sound like if you're familiar with them. Glue is kind of like an SSL style bus compressor. Going to be great on your subgroups or your mix bus, stuff like that. The Vintage VCA and the Logic stock compressor is a good comparison. And then you have limit that is going to just add a lot of just massive sustain to whatever you put it on. For the drums, we're going to go punch. So we're going to leave this on type 0.
Compressor. Off slider. 0.
And you see compressor, it says off.
In. Off. Slider.
I'm going to interact. I'm
0%. 0%.
go over to the second slider,
slider
and interact with that. And let's start cranking this up and see what it does.
32 bars, 4 beats, 600. 5%. 10%. 15%. 20%. 25%, 30%, 35%, 40%, 45%, 50%, 55%, 60%,
Wow.
65%, 70%, 75%, 80%, 85%, 90%, 95%,
That poor
100%.
snare. It's now almost non-existent. Goodbye, snare. It's nice knowing you.
I mean, it's a cool effect for a part, but yeah, this is not a setting you're going to be using all the time if you're not sound designing.
90%,
So let's
50%,
take
45%.
this back down.
Ah, it's back.
32 bars, 4
So-
beats, 608 ticks.
Let's
5%,
crank this up.
10%,
I feel like this is beautiful at 10% right here.
Yeah.
Everything is just nice and even.
Even.
Now, this is a drum loop, so there could be some compression on that loop already. But this really just helps it sit in the mix nicely right around 10.
15%.
Yep, I have to agree.
I like to go past what I like to see if that's really it. So that's 15.
10%.
Oh yeah, we're definitely rolling with 10 on this one. So that's the compression.
Auto
Now
slider.
let's
EQ
go.
sub. 0.
This is the EQ sub. So remember, like I said, if we turn this down, it is going to be a low cut. If we turn this up, it's going to be a boost.
In. EQ sub. 0.0. Slider. 50%. Slider.
And via right over to the second slider, it says 50%. This says 50% because remember, 0 is right in the middle. If we turn it down, it's going to turn into the low cut / high pass filter. If we turn this up, it's going to boost. So I think we're going to boost here.
32 bars, 4 beats, 6 in slider.
I don't think we want to cut out too much lows on these drums.
55%. 60%.
That kick just said hello.
Yes, it did.
65%.
It kicked us. That's what the kick did.
70%.
Now, around here, I feel like it's starting to affect the snare adversely.
75%.
Much as I love the kick.
80%. 85%. 90%. 95%. 100%.
You can really hear those toms start to come out there.
Yeah, you sure can. You can't miss them.
Yep.
32 bars, 4 beats, 99,
So
80,
let's go
87,
back down.
60, 60%, 55, 50%.
And by the way, this is one of the proponents, I will say, for why having multi-tracks is great, because then you can turn up the boost on the kick to where it sounds good on the kick and not have to worry about how it's affecting the snare or other instruments. And then vice versa, you can do it on the snare. But since this is a drum loop for this particular example, we're going to have to find a value where we're happy with how it sounds across the kick and snare and everything.
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 to 55%.
So let's go
60%. 65%. 70%. 75%.
I feel like I like 65.
70%. 65%.
That's also what I liked.
So we're going to leave that there.
On up slider.
And then
Saturation.
low.
0 input slash output slash post normalize. EQ mid. EQ low. 0.0 in. EQ 0.0. Slider. 50%. In slider.
Once again, go with that second slider. And let's see what boosting this does. So I believe this one boosts around 150 or cuts around 250. So let's see what this does. We might end up preferring a boost because 150 is a great frequency for bringing some body out of the snare. So that sub brought some body out in the kick. This might bring some body out in the snare.
32 bars, 4 beats, 608, 55%. 60%.
You're starting to hear that snare pop now.
Hear it already.
65%. 70%.
Oh, 65 was nice.
75%. 80%. 85%.
Starting to become
90%.
too much up
Now,
here.
starting to
95,
become
100.
muffly.
Yep.
This is what drums sound like under a pillow. This is pillow drums, everyone.
Someone should make a sample library called Pillow Drums.
90,
Pillow
90,
drums,
85%,
yeah.
80%.
It should be an R&B library for all those Pillow Talk songs.
75%.
Oh God, a pillow talk song with
70%.
pillow drums. That is the greatest idea in the worst way. Or the worst idea in the greatest way, whatever way you want to put it.
65%.
I
60%.
like 65.
65%. 70%.
Let's see what you like.
65%.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll at 65. So.
Out of slider.
All right, so now let's move on to the mid band. I think I'm gonna
EQ mid, 0.0
find the mid
slider.
band. Yep, there it is. So let's interact with
EQ mid,
this.
0.0. Slider. 50%.
And let's see what we're gonna boost or cut here. So now this one, the mid band, I believe is gonna be a boost is gonna be around 1.5K, so upper mids, and the cut is gonna be around 500 hertz. And that could be useful on drums because sometimes drums can get kind of muddy or boxy around that 500 hertz range. So we'll see which way we end up going on this.
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 tick. In slider.
So let's try boosting this first.
55%. 60%. 65%. 70%. 75%. 70,
And
60, 60, 55, 50%.
now we're going to try cutting.
45%. 40%. 35%. 30%.
So on these
35,
drums,
40%, 45, 50%.
we're back to the middle, no booster cut.
32 bars, 4 beats,
I feel
608
like I
ticks.
like the cut a little bit more, but even at just a slight cut. So if you VO left or right with this slider, it moves in increments of 5%. But if I do VO shift left or right, it will move in 1% increments.
49%.
So if VO shift left,
48%. 47%. 46%. 45%.
I'm torn between 45
46, 47%.
and 47.
46, 45%.
45 might be a little clearer.
Yeah.
So let's roll with that.
Out of slider. EQ low. 4.5
and
EQ high.
then
Clipper.
high.
0 EQ high. In. 0.50%.
So this is gonna, I believe, boost up around say 6K, 5K, somewhere up there, and cut around 3 or 4K. So 3 or 4K is kind of where you can have some harsh buildup, and 5 or 6 Ks where you can bring in some clarity. So let's see what's going to work for these drums.
32 bars, 4 beats, 6 in slider. 55%. 60%. 65%.
So far, I'm liking this boost.
70%. 75%. 80%. 85%. 90%. 95%. 100%.
You know, it sounds really weird up here. What can I say? Really, really weird.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe how it makes me feel. I don't even know.
It's not the worst I've heard it boosting up at the frequency up that much though. So
32 bars,
let's
4
go
beats,
back down
99,
to
80,
a
80%, 7,
reasonable,
7, 6, 6, 50,
logical
50,
But that
55%,
setting.
snare,
40%.
I mean, yeah, a
35%.
logical setting since we're using logic,
So this is
not
cutting
reason.
it.
40,
go
40,
back
50, 60%,
to-
55, 50%.
All right, so this is no cut. Let's bring this
32
down.
bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks. 45%. 40%. 35%.
Yeah, it's kind of getting muffly.
40%.
Muffly,
45%.
yeah. We're going back to
50%.
pillow drum territory.
Yep. So let's do a little bit of a boost here, because I like what it was doing to the top of the snare with that boost. And I think that's what you were getting at before.
Yeah, like when it's not too much. I mean, at
Yeah.
100, the top is obnoxious.
Yeah, yeah, we don't want to go all the way up to 100.
32 bars, 4 beats, 655%. 60%. 65%.
65 is like the magic number.
70%.
But yeah,
65%.
Yeah, I'm liking 65 here.
Out of slider.
So let's
Clipper. 0. EQ air. EQ air.
go to
0.
air. So this is going to be either a high cut if we pull this down or sparkly high. So let's see which way we roll with this. So
In. 0. 50%.
go with that.
32 bars, 4 beat in slider.
I'm going to boost first.
55%. 60%. 65%.
I don't think we want to go above
70%.
60.
75%. 80%.
And let's-
75, 7, 6, 6, 55,
I'll go all the way to
50%,
100. You did with the
56,
rest of
70, 70, 80%, 85%, 90%, 95%, 100%.
well, it sounds kind of weird, but I don't hate it as
It's
much as I
not-
thought it would.
Yeah, it's not going to take your head off.
99, 80, 87,
Yeah.
65,
So-
60%, 55%,
Let's pull it down.
ticks,
Let's do a little bit of high
50%.
cut.
45%, 40%, 35, 40%, 35%,
Yeah, it's just getting
40,
dark.
40, 50, 55%, 50%,
So
55%, 60%,
I really like 60.
65%,
I feel like it starts to get a little too bright as you go above
60%.
65, yeah.
that. Yeah, so 60 it is. So
On a
now
slider.
the last thing that we're going to look at
Clipper,
is
0.0.
the clipper. I don't know if we're going to need it.
In.
Let's
0.0.
find out.
0%.
The second slider for the clipper saturation and compressor is always going to start at 0 instead of 50%.
In slider.
All right, so let's adjust this.
5%. 10%. 15%. 20%. 25%.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to push this one very high.
Try it. Let's see
20%.
what happens.
25%.
I'll just jump up to 100 so we can hear
Okay.
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks.
that. Has anybody seen my
It's
drums?
gone. They disappeared. Okay. No clipping.
90,
No clipping
90,
this
80, 80,
high.
7,
Wow.
7, 65, 60%.
I mean, it makes sense if you understand what the
55%,
clipper is
50%.
doing, but even that's too high.
40, 40, 30, 20,
Wow.
20, 50, 10,
Yeah,
5,
like
0%.
I think these
That's
drums were already
crazy.
processed, so that's why these subtle settings are probably working.
That makes sense.
So
5%. 10%.
what I like about this is like it's a final level of evenness in a sense, where those toms are now basically at the same level as the kick and snare almost, right? If we go
Five.
back to no clipping.
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks.
You can hear the toms, they're there, but like everything kind of evens out as you bring the clipper up, would you say?
Right.
But what you also kind of sacrifice is you get some more loudness or evenness but you kind of lose a little bit of size. So it's a bit of a trade-off.
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks. 5%. 10%.
I do like how that kind of grooves with the beat in the song, though. Versus
5-0.
off. I really could go either way on this one.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if I necessarily have a preference because both options work. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
They both sound great. I'm gonna leave it off for now. Maybe after I put this on the mix bus, I might come back and play with this a little bit later. But yeah, so I'm gonna bypass this.
ML WaveBreaker bypassed.
So that's where we started. And enable. So we mixed that drums with one plugin, and that is sounding pretty good. That's
Pretty
a drum
awesome.
mix I could be happy with. So, all right, let's go throw this on the bass track. All right, so we got this loaded up on the bass track, and I'm gonna interact with the table with the
In table
parameters.
EQ air 0.
And let's start with the saturation again. I'm gonna go down.
Clipper EQ normalize outputs inputs saturation 0.0.
There we go. That's the saturation. Let's
In
interact.
0.000%.
Go with that second slider.
In
Interact
slider.
with that, and let's see what this does.
5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%. 30%, 35%, 40%, 45%, 50%. 55%, 60%. 65, 70%, 75%, 80%. 85, 90%, 95, 100%.
Now, bass is an instrument that can handle a lot of saturation and compression and stuff like that. So that's probably why we can get it up to 100% and not be like, oh my God, turn it off. Now, I'm going to turn this bass up a little bit. I'm going to take the saturation back down to 0.
32 bars, 4 beats, 695 per.
And let's bring this bass up.
Minus
and
6.0
level.
minus 1.0 decibels. 0.0.
Now,
5%, 10%,
mess with the saturation
15%,
again.
20%, 25%, 30%, 35%, 40%.
What I like about 40%, you just kind of hear it just like locks
33
into
bars.
place in this track. And take it
35
back
per
down.
30%,
You can hear it at 30.
35%, 40%. 45%,
But it's kind of saying hello to you at 40.
Yeah, definitely.
50%,
And I feel like it starts to get too much as you go over 40.
45,
So
40%.
let's leave this at 40.
Auto slider,
And then compression,
EQ sub,
let's try
0.
to limit mode on the compressor because we kind of want this bass to just sustain for days.
compressor, type, 0
So,
slider, 0%
You see
slider,
you have a type slider.
in, 0,
It's set
slider,
to 0. Remember, this is 0, 1, or 2. So 0 is going to be 0%. 1 is probably going to be maybe 50%-ish. 2 is going to be 100%.
0%, 0%, in
So
slide,
let's crank
5%,
this up to 100.
auto slider,
And so now if I stop interacting with that second slider,
2, slider,
yep, you see the type slider is on 2s.
type,
So
2, slider, type, compressor, off slider,
let's go to compressor,
in, off, slider, 0%,
go to that second
in
slider,
slider,
and let's crank this up.
32 bars, 4 beats, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, 30%, 35%, 40%, 45%, 50%, 55, 60%, 65%, 70%, 75%,
And it
80%,
starts to get
85%, 90%,
overcompressed
95%,
and disappear again.
90%,
Yeah, it's gone.
So let's go back down to 0.
5%, 10%, 15%,
Really like how you can kind of start to hear everything
20%.
now.
25%, 30%, 25,
go
20%, 15%, 10%, 15%.
Yeah, I'm going to roll at 15%.
Sounds good to me.
Hot up slider.
So now let's go to the
EQ sub saturation. EQ sub in 0.50%.
And let's see. I think we're going to boost this.
In slider. 55%. 60%. 65%. 70%. 75%. 80%. 85%. 90%. 95%. 100%.
Probably a bit much at
95%.
100.
90%.
Now it's just taking over the mix. It's
Right.
like, I don't even know why the other instruments are here. This is my mix.
85%. 80%.
So I like it around 80, I feel like.
75%. 70%. 75, 80%. 85%. 90%.
Yeah, this is getting too much
85,
again.
80%.
So what do you say,
Yeah.
80?
I think so. I'm not sure. I also like 70 and 75. So I
Yeah,
really
those
don't
were the
know.
ones I like. But what I think why I like 80 is listen to this part.
85%. 80%.
I'm going to play that again. And I'm going down to
70%.
70. As the bass sustains, you kind of lose some of the tail a little bit.
Yeah,
75%.
I hear that.
And I feel like at
80%.
80,
32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks.
it stays together a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
Out of slider. Saturation. 3.26. Input slash output slash normalize. EQ mid. EQ low. 0.
EQ
in.
low.
0.50%. In slider. 55%.
Try a little boost.
60%.
And
55%,
try a little
50%.
cut.
45%. 40%. 45%. 50%.
So 45% and 40% that was cut in. So cut in probably around 250-ish. And 55 and 60 was boost in. So, you know, boost in probably around 150-ish. So let's
55%.
try to boost again.
60%. 55%. 50%.
And I feel like with this boost, it's getting muddy. So that's
45%.
whereas I feel like with that cut, it cleaned it up a little bit.
50%.
That's no booster cut. We're back at 50%.
45%. 40%. 45%.
40 is too much. Let's roll at
Out of slider.
45%.
EQ high. 0.0 slider. EQ mid.
Let's
0.0.
go to the EQ mid.
In. 0.50%. In slider.
Interact with that second slider at 50%. And let's try a boost.
55%. 60%.
And I'm liking this boost.
65%. 70%. 75%. 80%. 85%.
All right, I don't know. We need to go that
80%,
high.
70, 65, 60, 55, 50%.
Let's try a little cut.
45%.
So this will be cutting around 500.
40%. 45%. 50%.
Yeah, I'm gonna boost
55%. 60%. 65%. 70%.
this. I like it around here.
75%. 70%.
Yeah, let's roll with it around 70. What do you say?
Out of slider.
Sounds good.
All right, so
EQ,
now
EQ
for the
high. 0.0 in. 50%.
Once again, boosting up around 5 or 6K, cutting around 3 or 4K.
In slider. 55%.
Boost.
60%.
I really like how this
65%.
sounds.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
70%.
Let's
60,
go.
60%, 55, 50%,
Now we're gonna try cutting.
45%, 40%, 45, 55%,
Sorry, I'm gonna boost.
That
60%,
cat sucks.
65%, 70%,
I really like it up here.
75%,
Yeah.
Probably don't.
80%, 75%, 70%,
I feel like right around 70 probably.
I have to agree.
out of slider,
And
clipper,
let's
EQ air, in, 0, 50%,
There's
slider,
not a lot up in the super bright regions of a bass, so we're probably going to end up doing a high cut.
in slider, 55%, 60%, 65%,
Yeah, that's not really doing much.
60, 55%, 50%,
Let's try
32 bars,
the
4
high
beats, 645%, 40%, 35%, 30%, 25%, 20%, 25%, 30%,
I like it right around 30. I feel
35%,
like.
30%, 35%,
35 blends nicely too, though.
30%,
My pick is 35.
Yeah.
35%,
It really just blends in with the way it blends in with the snare and the kick. Yeah. Yep. All right. 35 it
out of
is.
slider,
And as I said before, if we want to see what frequency we high cut at, we can switch back over
Menu,
here.
2 items.
I'm going to just hit W.
check mark, ML WaveBreaker, closing
Jump back into the WaveBreaker
ML
view.
WaveBreaker, ML WaveBreaker,
If we interact,
In
I'm
ML Wave-
going to jump to the bottom, VON, VOF, and right arrow if you're on a laptop,
1.6 point,
and then VO left because error is the last slider.
button, about button, license manager button, 16,300.0 hertz,
Yeah,
air,
so
slider,
we were like high passing at like 16K. And normally it would have probably, if I saw the numbers, I probably would have went a lot lower. But so sometimes it's nice to just dial stuff in by ear. All right, so let's switch back over
menu, 2 controls,
to
closing menu,
controls
table,
view.
row, intake, EQ air, clipper, 0.0,
And let's adjust the clipper.
in, 0.00%, in slider, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%,
It's another one that we don't really need
25%,
to go too extreme on.
30%, 35%, 40%, 45%,
So this bass seems to just be taking this clipper and fades.
50%, 55%,
And it's starting to get
Wow.
distorted up
60%.
here. All
Sure
right,
is.
55, 50%,
let's go back down to 0.
5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, 30%,
I like how loud it is, where you can like hear every note the bass is playing. But it's definitely too much up here.
25, 20%, 15%,
Yeah.
10%,
I like
5%,
it at about 10%.
0%, 5%, 10%,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was digging to.
15%, 10%,
Yep, let's roll with 10 on the bass. So
All right.
let's
main window,
turn this bass back down a little bit. 'Cause it's
0.0
kind of loud
decibels.
in the mix right now at 0.
minus 6.7 decibels, 32 bars, 4 beats, 608 ticks,
I'm just using command down arrow to bring it down. Let's leave it around
Minus 3.0
minus
decibels.
3. All right. So let's now go drop this on the piano track. All right, so we got this on the piano track. So we're going to start with the saturation
clipper,
again.
EQ, normalize, outputs, inputs, saturation, EQ, saturation, in, 0.00%,
We're on that
slider,
second slider.
in slider,
And
32 bars, 4 beats, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, 30%, 35, 40%, 45%, 50%,
it's a crunchy piano.
55, 60%, 65%, 70%, 75%, 80%, 85%,
Whoa. Let's see how crunchy it can
90,
get.
95, 100.
Oh my god. That
ever
is just
wondered
way
what a-
too much crunch.
Ever wondered what a piano sounded like for a distortion pedal?
90,
Yeah,
90,
now
80,
we know.
70, 70, 65, 60, 50, 50%. 5%. 10%. 15%. 20%.
I don't think we need to go higher than this.
Yeah.
25%. 20%. 15%. 10%.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it around 10, make it a little cleaner for the piano.
Auto slider.
And compression.
EQ sub. Compressor. Type. Type. 0 slider. 0%
This
slider.
time, I'm going to leave it on punch, and then we might mess with the modes.
Compressor. Off
So
slider.
let's see
In. Off.
here.
0%. 32 bars 4 beat in slide 5%. 10%. 15%. 20%.
I feel like that's a little too compressed
15%.
already.
10%. 0%. 5%. 10%.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that at 10% too.
Auto slider. Type.
Yeah.
0 slider.
So we
0%
have this
type.
on the
0
punch
in. 0
mode right
slider.
now.
0%.
This is on the punch mode right now. I'm going to
In slider.
interact, and so I think 0, 50%, and 100% should give us 0, 1, and 2. So let's see. Punch.
In slider. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 34, 50%.
Glue.
In slider.
And
6, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 1.
limit. Well, definitely not limit.
99, 80, 80, 75,
I think
6,
we're going to
55.
roll with punch. Let's go back over here. Yeah, like how that sounds. So
Auto slide
we'll
compressor.
roll with the punch.
3.0 slider. EQ
All right.
saturation. 0. Input slash
Rolling with
regain.
the punches.
EQ sub.
We're rolling with the
0.0 slider.
punches
50%
right
in.
into the
EQ
subs.
0. 50%.
So
Slider.
we're probably going to end up cutting this.
32 bars 4 beats 600 in slide. 55%.
So I'm boosting right
60%. 65%. 70%. 50%.
now. Let's cut this instead.
45%. 40%. 35%. 30%. 25%. 30%. 25%. 20%.
Yeah,
25,
like it
30%,
around
35%.
30.
Yeah,
30%.
30 or 35.
Yeah. Like the blend at 30. And once again, if you're curious to see what number that is,
Menu. Check mark. Controls. ML WaveBreaker.
switch over
Closing.
to the WaveBreaker view.
ML WaveBreaker. ML WaveBreaker. In ML WaveBreaker. 0 button.
And
Con. Glue. Limit. But off. North 3.0 decibels. 0.0 decibels. Clip 0.15 decibels. Saturation 0.0 decibel. 202.0 hertz. Slider.
202. So yeah, once again, don't know that I would have high passed it that high if I could see the numbers. So sometimes it's great to just kind of dial it in by ear.
Menu. Controls.
So switch back
Closing
over
menu.
to control.
Table. Row 1 into EQ air. 0. Clipper. EQ low. 0.0 in. 50%. Slider.
And all right, so low.
32 bars 4 beats in slider.
We're gonna boost.
55%. 60%.
Or
50, 45%.
cut.
50%. 45%. 40%. 35%. 40%.
I like 40% on the cut side.
45, 50%.
Let's try boosting this again. We're at 50, so we're at 0.
55%.
And this is boosting.
60%. 65%. 70%.
Yeah, I think I like
65,
the
60,
cut a little
55,
better.
50%. 45%.
I don't mind the cuts, but if we were to boost, I don't mind it at 60%.
40%.
So 40. This is a little bit of a cut.
probably blends a little bit better with the cut.
Yeah, all right.
EQ high, EQ low, EQ mid, 0.0
mid.
in, 50%. In slider, 55%,
Boost the mid-range.
60%, 65%, 60%,
So 60 again.
55, 50%, 45%,
Try a little cut again.
40%,
Yeah, piano's disappearing with that cut.
45, 50%,
Yeah.
55%, 60%,
Let's roll that on
auto slider,
60%.
EQ low, EQ high, 0
High.
points in, 50%, in slider, 55%, 60%,
Ooh.
Wow.
65%,
65.
60%,
I really like 60.
55%, 60%,
Let's roll
Yeah, I
with
think
that.
60 sounds good.
auto
Yeah.
slider, clipper, 0, EQ air,
And
EQ air,
air.
in, 0, 50%, in slide 55%, 60%, 65%, 70%, 75%, 80%, 85%, 80,
Alright,
60,
let's
60%,
not get that
55%, 50%,
Try
45%,
a cut.
40%,
I don't mind that cut.
35%, 30%, 40%, 35%, 30%, 35%, 40%,
I actually kind of like how that sounds rolling off some of that top end. Versus
40, 50, 60, 65, 60%,
the boost might win this time though.
Yeah, I think it just sounds a little more open or something with the
yep.
boost.
auto slider, clipper, 0.0
Alright.
slider, in, 0.0
I don't think this piano
slider,
is going to want to be clipped.
0% in slider,
Probably not.
10%,
Yeah.
15%, 20%, 15%, 10%, 5%, 10%, 5%, 0%,
There's something about 10% I like, but I think it takes away a little bit.
Yeah, I would leave it off.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave
Personally.
that up. All right, so that's
Main
using
window.
it on some instruments. Let's take a look at this on the mix bus, the stereo output track in Logic. So here we are on the submix, and same thing. Let's start
clipper, EQ,
with
EQ mid, normalize, output slash input slash saturation, 0.00 slider, 0% slider,
some saturation.
in,
Let's interact,
0% in slider,
and let's turn this up a little bit.
5%, 10%,
Hello, mix.
Wow.
15%, 20%, 25%, 30%,
Just when you thought that kick couldn't hit any harder.
35%,
It's like
40%,
I'm here to really kick you.
45%, 50%,
And now you can start to hear the distortion part of the saturation.
Yep.
You know, interestingly enough, taste-wise, I don't hate this. You know, I could see this working in some genres or as a stylistic sound design thing. You know,
Oh yeah. Yep.
45,
Alright, let's go back.
25%,
go back to 0. God, this sounds so boring now.
5%,
It
10%.
actually does.
15%, 20%, 25%, 30%,
I really like how 30% sounds. Is that too much though? I feel like it kind of works with this particular track.
I don't mind it. Yeah. don't know. It's weird. I feel like it should be too much, but I don't think it is. So.
I don't hate it, so let's roll with it.
Auto slider. EQ sub.
All
0.0
right, so
slider.
since this is a
50%
mixed
type.
bus,
0 slide.
for the compressor, we're going to go
Type.
with glue.
0 in. 0. In 0. 0. 0. 0.
All right, that's the slow slider.
slider.
Stop interacting.
0%.
We're right over to the fast
In
slider.
slider. 10, 20,
No one
25,
wants
30,
a slow
30, 40%.
slider.
45, 50%. Auto slider.
No slow sliders allowed
Compressor.
here.
Off slider. 0% in. Off.
Exactly.
0%. 0
All right,
in slider.
so let's compress our mix a little bit.
5%. 10%. 15%. 20%.
Ooh, 20 again. Oh, 30 was last time.
Yeah.
25%. 30%. 35%. 40%. 45%. 50%. 45, 40%, 35%, 30%, 25%. 20%.
Yeah, 20 just locks in.
25%. 20%.
So let's roll with 20.
Auto slider.
No.
EQ sub. Saturation. EQ sub. In.
Subs.
0, 50%.
Try a boost
In slider.
here.
55%. 60%. 65%. 70%. 65%. 60%. 55%. 50%. 55%. 60%.
I want to pick 60, but I feel like that's just a little too much.
55%.
It is.
So let's go 55.
Auto slider. 1.5. Slider.
So yeah, that's like 1.5. That's even a big boost for your mixed bus. But hey, sounds good.
Saturation. 1.72. Input slash outputs. Normalize. EQ mid. EQ low. EQ high. EQ low.
Go
In.
low
0.
band.
50%. In slider. 55%.
Boost.
60%.
I kind of like that, but it might be too much.
55%.
Yeah, it's too much.
55. 50%.
Let's see what happens if we cut.
45%. 50%.
I don't like that.
49%.
We should cut.
48%. 47%. 48, 49, 50%. 51%.
Yeah, we're not cutting.
52%.
Yeah, I think we just have to leave it. No cutter
53%.
boost, I think.
54%.
What was that? No cutter boost?
I think so, yeah.
50,
I kind of like a
50%.
little bit, like
51%.
even just that, 51%.
Okay.
Auto slide. EQ high. 0 EQ low. 0.3 slider. 51%
Yeah,
slider.
0.3 dB.
EQ mid. 0.0
Alright,
in.
next.
0.50% in slider. 45%.
Cut
40%.
40.
35%.
30.
40, 45, 50%. 55%. 60%. 65%. 70%.
Oh, yeah.
50, 40, 40%. 45, 50%.
Kind of like the boost,
55%.
Yeah, that's what I liked.
60%.
and I really like 60%,
Out
which
here.
is
Yes.
a lot for a mixed bus, but hell, it sounds good.
Auto slider.
All right.
EQ,
so
EQ high. 0 in. 0.0. Slider. 50% in slider.
Try a boost.
55%. 60%. 65%. 70%. 60%.
Once again, I like 60.
Yeah. 70 is
55%.
starting to get obnoxious.
Yep.
60%. 55%. 50%. 55%. 70%. 60%. 55. 60%. Auto slider. Clicker. 0.0
And
slide.
let's look
EQ
at
air.
the
EQ air.
air.
In. 0. 50%. In slider. 55%. 60%. 65%.
A little sparkle on top.
70%.
Probably don't want to go
65%.
over 65.
60%.
Yeah.
65%.
Yeah, 65 is just so nice. let's roll with that. And then we got
On-off
our
slider.
clipper.
0 points in. 0.0%. Slider. In slider.
It's going to be our loudness and
5%.
final level.
10%. 15%. 20%. 25%. 20%, 15%, 10%,
we need to go that high.
5%, 0%,
Yeah.
5%, 10%,
Really like this.
Yep. I would say 5 or 10.
Yeah.
15%,
Yeah, it's too much.
10%, 5%, 0%, 5%, 10%, 5%,
5%, I think.
On-off slider.
So let's do
Okay.
that.
EQ high, EQ low, EQ mid, normalize, unchecked checkbox,
This is going to bring your level up to -1. So let's see what this does.
check, unchecked,
That's back to the actual output of the plugin.
check,
I feel like I like it with the normalize on, though. What about you?
Yeah, same here. I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I didn't think I would.
Yep. So that's our track, man. This is turning out really well. We use one plugin on the drums, the bass, the piano, and the mix bus, and it's sounding really, really nice. So that's kind of why I wanted to show you guys this plugin, because I feel like it's such a fast way to work. It's such an easy way to work, and it gets you great results. Also, shout out to ML Sound Lab for sending me over a license code so I could use this in the tutorial and show this to you guys and not have to deal with it in demo mode and have it mute in every so often. They were willing to compensate me with a license for sharing this with you guys. As I said before, this was something I was really excited about and wanted to make a tutorial about, and they were great enough to support me in that endeavor. So I encourage you guys to check this plugin out. Grab a demo. ML Sound Labs does kind of make you try demos first. So you have to install the demo and get the request key out of the demo. And then when you go to purchase it, you put that request key in and check out, and then it will generate your license code that you can put in when you want to start, when you want to unlock the plugin. But the demo just like drops some silence in every so often, so it's not a time limited demo. It's just a demo that inserts silence from time to time. So check it out, see how you like it. I think this is going to be a great tool, especially for those of you that just want to work fast and don't want to get bogged down in the nitty gritty of the mixing stuff. So, Miss LB, any final thoughts?
I think it's a simple little plugin. It's nice that it's not an overwhelming amount of parameters. Everything is quite hearable, and I think it's really good for people who are new to mixing and also people who are not new to mixing but just want to get a mix together quick. And it's nice to be able to do everything all in one plugin.
And part of the reason I got excited about talking to you about this, you're one of those people that tend to like the simpler plugins, the faster workflow. You know, you want to get your song sounding good and you want to enjoy listening to your song. You're not someone that enjoys getting bogged down in minutia. I am somewhat, and even I was just like, wow, this is great. I got to tell people about this one.
He's very right. I like plugins that are simple, easy to use, help me get my songs done quickly, but still sounding decent. I don't want my songs to not sound good.
You don't want it to suffer just because you work fast.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I want to be able to create. And so the faster I can get a mix together, the more creating I can do.
Let's take you out with a before and after so you can kind of hear what that sounds like. If you like this, please hit the like button, share it with someone else that you think will benefit from using a plugin like this. And also drop a super thanks if you want to show your support. Another way to show some support is by becoming a member of the Logic Band channel. And you can do that by hitting the join button right here on YouTube. And you'll get access to some bonus tutorials and in-depth course. And more courses are coming as we speak. So That's 2 great ways to support the channel. If you want to get some one-on-one training, visit logic.band/training. Links to all of these are going to be in the description below. And as I always say, happy mixing, happy producing, happy recording.